There's something to be said about drifting besides the obvious fact that can be a little, absolutely daunting, okay? It's just like a scary thing because you feel like you're gonna break your pride and joy when you go around your first corner, or maybe it's just the fact that it's not a matter of if you break your car, but when you do, it can make you really sad. It can make you feeling a little bit nervous, like me, because we're building a car soon and I wanna share that journey with all of you. But before we start, there are some rookie mistakes people be making that not only shorten the lifespan of your car, but also shorten the lifespan of the sport, and we don't need that. Which, by the way, I'm Alex Martini with 2 underscores on Instagram, and let's get into it. I want you guys to drop a comment on one rookie mistake you wish you knew before you started drifting, and please make sure to watch the whole thing. It helped us out a ton if you did. Now, sure, you could sub, but I feel like I'm asking for a lot with just a comment. Now, drifting is a very fun sport. You maybe just bought your first E36, maybe just bought your first G35, your 350Z, S13, or if you're rich, you got yourself a pretty little Mustang or something that just is really expensive and non-rusted out, which up in Wisconsin is very rare. But let me tell you the first modification you're gonna wanna buy that a lot of times people have a tendency to forget about, and that is a seat. Now hear me out. A lot of cars we buy for drifting they're a bit moldy, they're moist, they're farty, as Dakota would say. But we love them because they get us to slide around like an absolute idiot with the biggest smile on your face. But if you've never been in a track car before, you'll quickly learn just how much stock seats have a tendency to absolutely suck. For not just drifting, but any kind of motorsport. Like sliding around on pleather is not fun in any way, shape, or form. Now, used racing seats can actually be found for like pennies on the dollar if you're gone on Facebook Marketplace, or sometimes even the good old forums. Or you can jump into an NRG seat for a pretty decent price, which, speaking of NRG, congrats to those guys because they'll be in our upcoming release of Torque Drift 2, which is gonna be wicked. Seriously, check it out. I know it's a little biased, but I think it's gonna be awesome, and you can see what we're doing over on our devlog. See, Dakota was weird. He thought I was like glitching out or something like that. Another mistake people may make sometimes is that when something breaks, which it will, is to try and do it all yourself. Now, don't be afraid to ask for some help. I know it's weird, and the internet has made it super easy to talk mad shit and then get scared that someone in real life that looks like they could maybe beat you up, you're not gonna wanna ask them any questions. And I pinky promise that's just what most people look like, okay? You're gonna be fine. And I pinky promise that whatever it is that you broke your first time out there, they've probably broken a million times before. So don't be afraid to just ask for help if you do need it. It's such a mistake to try not to introduce yourself, to learn from people that are in the pits, and to ask for help when you break things. Don't be afraid to help as well. It's kind of like a little community sometimes in these places, and you don't always need to be a mechanic to help somebody with a broken drift car. A lot of times, all they need is an extra set of hands to get something to loosen up or to just hold on to something while they try to weld something back together. Now, what makes this community so awesome is that feeling that mostly everyone is out there to just go do hood rat in the best way possible, legally and maybe with a little bit of control. Now, you're not on Formula Drift yet, so don't worry about being perfect. Just worry about trying to get some form of progression while you're out there. And that can be really tough because a lot of times you have no idea what you're doing. Even when you go at 5, 6, 7 times, you're still not gonna have any idea what you're doing. But coming prepared is better than hoping that everything's just there for when you arrive. A good thing to remember is that you need a proper helmet, additional clothes for weather, because sometimes when you get out there and when you actually start driving, it can be really cold. Power tools to swap wheels, tires, and your basic hardware on the car. Water is important, and I'll say it again, water, okay? Get yourself a jack stand and some good old-fashioned cable ties to just get you far enough. The basics to put together half a car need to fit in the trunk of your car. Now, you can get into the battle of how many mods or what mods you'll need to get started, but just showing up with the right safety equipment is a better place to get moving than pretty much anywhere else. Also, keep in mind that sometimes tracks will require you to swap coolant for water, certain tie-down requirements for batteries, and more. Alex just taught me that, and that is something that not every track does. Now, check out that stuff before you jump into your car and head over to your local US Air. And the final mistake that I've made personally and continue to make all the time, and I'm just telling you this because I'm trying to be honest, is getting frustrated when you don't get it right. So, for instance, when I'm racing and someone is in front of me, I have a tendency to chase. It's a bad behavior. I dive into corners, I brake too hard, and I force the car to do things it just shouldn't do. And a lot of times, I end up losing time for that. I need to spend time away from the car to recalibrate and to like go back out there with a new set of eyes to get it right. And turns out that smoothness, like 99% of the time, will win over the brute force that I'm trying to do when I'm angry. Literally every time. And then I'm back to making just small improvements. Drifting is the same way in its own chaotic energy. When you don't know how much power to give, when you need to initiate a clutch kick, how much throttle is needed to keep the tire spinning, and dodging the wheel drop areas so you can keep your wheels alive. It can be really hard to do all of that at the same time just once. And you gotta do that for the whole track. So don't be too hard on yourself. And when you start feeling that way, don't be afraid to just take a step back. Drink a Capri Sun, walk the pits, figure out one thing you think might be causing the issue, and then get back out there and try it again. Seat time is only as good as your ability to learn. And the more red you see, the less likely you are to learn shit, and the more likely you're gonna learn how sturdy concrete wheels really are. But what's a rookie mistake you wish you heard when you were just starting? Let me know below, and please don't forget to subscribe. I'm Alex Martini over here on Torque Motorsport. We hope you're enjoying the content. Please don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you later. Adios.